Welcome to Theory Hammer, folks, where we theory, where we hammer. I'm the host of the channel, the legendary Kevbot, so famous over here, watch out. Just kidding, not really. Let's talk about this detachment. How the actual do these things get written, dude? This detachment is so insane that I'm running out of vocabulary words to describe just how insane it is. So let's break this down and see what absolute nonsense we can cook up here. If you like the video, thunderhammer that like and subscribe button. Let's get to 3K, baby. I'll probably do another giveaway around like 5K, so we're like halfway there. So let's do that. It's completely free, and of course, you know, Thunderhammer Nurgle's bell, he appreciates that. Check out the other videos, let me know what you think, and check out the Power Fisters, which is our gaming channel that is linked below. I won't be following up with you, but I know you'll do the right thing. More Dakka time. Here's the detachment. During your shooting phase, ranged weapons equipped by Ork Infantry and Ork Walker models from your army have the Sustained Hits 2 ability. That seems good. While the WOG is active for your army, ranged weapons equipped by Ork Infantry and Ork Walker models from your army have the Assault ability. Oh, well that's disgusting in every single way. I'm pretty sure Orks just became better Tau. Here's our enhancements. First we got Dagobsnot Thunderbus. Ork model only, ranged weapons equipped by the bearer have devastating wounds and hazardous. This is pretty good, especially for 15 points. You're going to want to, these are all going on mechs. That's where they're going. They're going on mechs with shock attack guns or something. Maybe not the last one, but the first three mechs with shock attack guns want those things. So yeah, this is okay. Gaining devastating wounds, it's fine. You're not rerolling wounds, I don't think, with your shooting in anything in here, so meh, but not bad. Then we have a great one, which is Dead Shiny Shooters. For 35 points, it is pretty expensive, but when you get like 5 extra shots with a rocket launcher from your unit, is that worth 35 points? Probably. That's what it does. It gives you rapid fire 1 for the Ork unit. Ranged weapons equipped by models in the bear's unit have the rapid fire 1 ability. So that's pretty good. Then we have our targeting squigs. This is only 15 points, Ork model only. Each time a model in the bearer's unit makes a ranged attack, you add 1 to the hit roll. Our last one here is 10 points. It is Zog Off and Eat Dakka. It's an Ork model only. The bearer's unit is eligible to shoot in a turn in which it fell back. So these are all very useful. Yeah, I mean, this is just nuts. The devastating wounds is cool. That's great. It's an enhancement that's useful. Dead Shiny Shooters, give everything rapid fire 1. Okay, that's awesome. Targeting squigs, give them +1 to hit. I like that because now I'm hitting on 4s and I'm getting sustained hits too, and I gain assault. And then being able to fall back and shoot, that's pretty nice to have. Your stuff's not super durable, so not amazing, but it's nice to have. The first 3 though, mainly the middle 2, are just good. Dead Shiny Shooters and Targeting Squigs. Awesome stuff. You're going to take those every time most likely. So then let's go on to the stratagems, because there's just so much shit to go over here. The first one that we have is Orks is still Orks. Perfect name, 1 CP. They're all 1 CP, so 1 CP. Yeah, this gives you reroll wounds if you're on, like if the opponent is on an objective marker, or just reroll ones if they're not. So it's just good. Like, this allows you to take combat units and make those combat units actually good, especially on a WOG turn when they get +1 to their strength and attacks. Absolutely great. And this is just good on so many things. It's so good on so many things. All your walkers want this, so all your killicans like this. Your knobs will love this, like your mega knobs, your regular knobs. Gazgul's unit probably loves this. There's so many things that just absolutely love having rerolls to wounds. Just really, really good to have. Then you have the huge show-offs, which gives a walker extra leadership, objective control, +1 to hit. It's definitely best on the Stampa. Like, if it gets damaged now, it's just going to be like +1 to hit, hitting on 2s in combat. That's just pretty good. The +1 OC, the +1 leadership. The leadership might not be bad there, just because it's got better leadership now. It doesn't have battle shock worries and all that kind of stuff. But it's fine. It's not amazing, but it's fine. We then have the long, uncontrolled bursts, which is just the best name. When I first read this, I just started cackling. It's the best name strat in the entire game, by far. And it's perfect for Orks. You know, it's exactly how they would act. This takes away cover for an enemy unit. You just pick a unit that your character can see, a character, and that unit loses cover, as long as I think they're within 18 inches. So you just take away cover, though, against an enemy unit. Pretty good. Then we have the special shells, which is similar, +1 AP if you shoot the closest target within 18 inches. So Do you guys like AP4 and AP5 Stampas shooting with ignores cover and getting like sustained too? Because now you have that. Do you like AP2 Ludas shooting with ignores cover? Remember when Tau could hand you a ton of Strength 8 AP2 2 damage hits with ignores cover from all their cyclic ion blasters? That's what this looks like with just a little less output. But how about like AP3 and AP4 tankbustas? AP2 ignore cover flash gets, anyone? Like that seems good with sustained 2, lethals once a game and 4 shots a guy? Nuts. Absolutely nuts. This is a great stratagem. It's +1 AP. You're going to shoot the closest target most likely, and it's going away. It's definitely going away. But do you call that Dakka? Because that's the next one. This lets you shoot back at an enemy unit. What? Seems pretty good on any infantry unit. You can hit something like killicans with this though, and that could actually do a ton, because killicans are hard to kill, so it actually takes dedicated firepower from like multiple units usually to get through them, unless it's like, you know, a fucking Tau squad with a bunch of meltaguns, like the fusion squads. If it's something like that, then yeah, they're getting put down. But if it's not something like that, and you kill like one guy, they just shoot back at you with like a ton of rocket shots and stuff. It's so funny. It's only 1 CP too, because it does have to destroy a model in the unit, so that's really good. But you can hit anything with this. You know, a model has to die to use it though, so you can't use this on single model units like you know, a Morganaut or a Stomp or something like that. Can't use it on that. But all your flash kits can, all your Ludas can, all your tankbustas can, all that stuff can. And then I intentionally left this one for last, which is Get Stuck In, lads. This puts one of your units into WOG. And so this basically adds to our list which units are going to be good in this detachment, because Gaz now becomes really dumb. Mega Knobs become dumb. Your entire army can now get lethal hits in combat all game, and he gives out +1 to wound and to hit, I think. Yeah, it's +1 to hit and wound, and gets their lethals on 5s, like in his unit. If he wants to, he can have that all game. Not that he would live all game, but you could theoretically have it all game, which is pretty good. And this is just so good on a few other units, like specifically the Morganaut, which, you know, also wants to be in this detachment if you can afford one. They aren't great, but they are better. And when they WOG, they get +1 to hit, so not horrible shooting, and then gaining sustained 2. Not bad on that. There's a couple of other notable units that could actually gain a pretty big benefit here, which would be like the War Boss and the War Boss in Mega Armor. The Mega Armor Boy, he gets 3 damage attacks, and then the regular guy, the regular War Boss, gets 4 extra attacks on the WOG turn. So you can get those in there, but basically all you care about here is Gaz and his Mega Knobs. They are just permanently annoying and give out a 12-inch aura of lethal hits for your combat to make your combat just that much better when you're shooting, like output has doubled. Like he is just super duper good with this stratagem. And these units aren't expensive. You know what I'm saying? Like any of the units that you want to take here, they're not that expensive. 30 Ludas is 300 points. Like 18 tankbustas is like 400 points. So take a couple of units of flash kits, that's like another 300 points. You take some mechs, some trucks, and then the rest of the shit is like combat shit, backed up by Gaz or something like that. And you can double up inside trucks. Like if you had 5 knobs and 6 tankbustas with a mech, that's actually perfect capacity. So yeah, let me just explain to you very simply what this detachment rule does. This detachment rule alone makes all of your infantry and all of your walkers 100% better at shooting. That's what this boils down to. That's mathematically, this gives your army a 3-up ballistic skill. And should I just like end the video there? Because that's insane. This detachment is insane. Like, fuck, dude. That's so insanely good that it makes me want to, like, do things that don't make sense. Like, connect an Ethernet cable to my Skechers and then do a triple backflip into my Maserati. Did that make no sense? That's the point. Like, exactly. This detachment has given me brain damage because it's that crazy. So, let's take a big deep breath and then do some theory hammer and figure out what makes this detachment tick. What benefits the most here is going to be the following things. It's going to be Ludas, for one. Normally, that's going to be 22 hits if you're on an objective. That's also going to be 3 to 4 hits from rockets on the spanner guys. If you combine this with the mech, with like a targeting squig, long uncontrolled bursts for ignores cover, and then special shells, that's going to be like 36 to 37 hits at strength 8 AP2, ignores cover, flat 2 damage. That's like 12 wounds to a vehicle like any vehicle, unless it's toughness 8 or less, which there's not a lot of those, but they exist. But we're talking like a Land Raider, maybe a Knight, maybe Predator, something along those lines, in between those ranges. 12 wounds on that thing at that profile. Like, your Land Raider's taking 12 wounds because 6 are going to go through it, 2 damage each. So, because it ignores cover at AP2. I guess you could Armor of Contempt it, but I don't know. You could just shoot other stuff at it, and then it's dead anyway. But this is nuts. Like, you only need half of those to go through to kill most vehicles. So, any vehicle taking 12 hits that are AP2 2 damage, probably gonna get through. 24 wounds to a Terminator unit. That is 6 dead Terminators if they don't use Armor of Contempt. It's like 4 if they do. And that's not including the mech shooting there. And the mech is dumb, and we'll get to him. So these guys are going to love having Assault, for the turn that they want to move up faster and get angles to shoot on things. Their Overwatch is horrifying. Like, it's 22 hits and like 3 to 4 hits from rockets on average. And then if you kill a couple, they maybe will decide that ain't Dakka and this is Dakka, and they're going to shoot back at you. And they're going to get +1 to hit in that instance if you take that mech with them. So make sure that you wipe out most or all of this unit in one activation, which isn't that hard because it is only 10 wounds at toughness 5 with a 5-up save. But they are cheap. They only come in at 100 points for 10. So Luda's all-star in this detachment for sure. And then of course we've got the tankbustas, because the tankbustas are nuts. These guys are going to average 9 hits from their rockets, just generally speaking. Combine a mech with this with the dead shiny shooters or the targeting squid, kind of either one. The pulsar rockets, which is something on the datasheet of the tankbustas for +1 strength and AP. Special shells, that's an additional +1 AP. And at the end of the day, it's 12 hits at strength 10, AP 4, ignores cover. Flat 3 damage, no big deal. That's 10 wounds to a non-blastable unit, dude. And if you watched my tankbusta video, which is linked in the description, so go watch that, it's like 16 wounds to a 10-man Terminator unit, not including the mech shooting. And don't even think about moving if they have line of sight to you either, because their Overwatch, that whatever you shoot at them, takes them all down at once. Like, you wouldn't want them to call that Dakka at you, now would you? Like, god damn, bro, could you imagine that? You Overwatch, you shoot me and destroy like one guy, I shoot the entire unit back at you. Again, insane, dude. Insane. They love starting a truck as well to get where they need to go. That also protects them, and it gives the truck 10 rocket shots, well, on average, They also love having Assault, just like the Ludas do. Moving faster to get up into line of sight. It's exactly what these guys need. It's exactly what they want. Plus being able to like get to objectives and stuff, move block, all that's, better. You can do it more effectively while also being able to shoot. So that's just great. And they're 135 points for a 6-man tankbustas unit. They're insane. Go check out the video. Like I said, it's linked in the description. This unit kills everything. Then you have Killicans. These are going to really benefit from your detachment. They will also average about 9 hits with their rockets, average about 24 hits with something like a Grotzuka if you don't include Blast, because the Grotzuka I think is actually an interesting selection for them. But then you do the same thing. You combine these guys with special shells. 24 hits, because the Grotzuka already has ignores cover. So 24 hits at strength 6, AP 2, ignores cover, 1 damage. And if it's something like an AC/DC unit, that's going to be 44 hits. That's 29 wounds. That pretty much wipes out any infantry unit. Or it's potentially like 9 rocket hits at strength 9, AP 3, flat 3. You could do uncontrolled bursts, give them ignores cover. And that's like 3 dead Terminators. That's like 6 to 9 damage to a vehicle. And don't forget the shooty power trip. Your rockets, they could become strength 10. Or there could be 6 extra shots from them, which is 5 extra hits when you calculate in the sustained hits. And like I was saying earlier, try not to shoot this unit and destroy like one guy, because you're going to get shot back by, you call that Dakka. These things are toughness 6 with 5 wounds, they've got a 3-up save, they're probably in cover, so you're almost certainly going to need more than one thing to destroy the unit. And that's kind of what's cool about the shooty power trip, is that anytime these guys shoot, you get to do it. So you could just be getting a casual like, 11, 12 hits back on their unit, and they get no Armor of Contempt because it happens on their turn. This unit does also like to charge, and so it likes having Assault on all of its weapons, like a whole lot. It gets to advance and hopefully get closer. It gets to shoot with the above nonsense, and then it gets to charge. And they're not really a slouch if you have 6 of them in the unit. It's 18 attacks, it's strength 8, AP 2, flat 3 damage, potentially getting lethal hits if Gazgul's nearby, who knows. But on average, 9 hits. If you give them Orks is still Orc, now they can reroll their wounds. And that's flat 3 damage at AP2. That's not a bad choice a lot of the times. 250 points for 6 of them. I love it. Would you ever take them in 3-man units? Probably not. The strats are just too good, I think, to take them in large units. And I was thinking 3-mans because their leadership is 8. So if you have like 1 left and it fails its battle shock, then like who cares, I guess, kind of with 1 of them. But 2 of them, you know, you're kind of pushing it for points at that point because they're only, leadership 8 is just not good. All right, so that is going to be the Killicans. They're just outrageous in this detachment. Then you have the Morkanaut and the Gorkanaut. The Morkanaut near like a mech if you give them +1 to hit, or if the Morkanaut's just in WOG, gets +1 to hit by itself. You're looking at like 2.5 hits from the custom Mega Blasta, 5.5 from the custom Mega Zappa, not including any blasts for anything, and then like 3 rocket hits. If you combine this all with the same stuff, so long, uncontrolled bursts, special shells, this 280 point unit is going to be doing 5.5 hits at strength 10, AP3, ignore cover, D6 damage, 2.5 hits at strength 9, AP3, ignore cover, D6 damage, and then 3 more hits at strength 9, AP3, ignore cover, flat 3 damage, and that's, again, not including blast. This thing also does love having assault for a turn, or more if you want to use the strat on him. And so now you can try to run its weirdly shaped ass up and then be able to charge with its, like, I don't know, now it's 5 attacks because it counts as being WOG. You know, strength 19, AP3, flat 6, pretty good. Give it Orks is still Orks, I don't know, blow up a tank. This guy will also like huge show-offs as well. It improves the move, the hit, the leadership, the OC by 1. I know I kind of left the Gorkanaut out of this whole thing as well, but that's because it's worse. Then we also have the Flash Gits. They're flashing around, they're getting around. They're going to average like 20 hits, dude, with like 6 or 7 lethals. Combine it with the same shit, now you're looking at 20 hits at strength 6, AP2, ignores cover, flat 2 damage. That wipes so many things, like, what? But overall, I mean, the Flash Gits, you know, they're basically the output of Ludas with worse strength. So if you're looking for like direct firepower for cheaper, Ludas. But if you want like a much tougher unit that's also like a decent combat threat, the Flash Gits are where it's at. These guys love having WOG. This allows them to advance and shoot and then charge, and they charge in with 50 attacks on the WOG turn, at strength 6, at AP 1. If you give them Orks is still Orks, now they're re-rolling their wounds. 50 attacks at that volume will wipe most units. That's 33 hits, and it's not going to get through like real big tough units like Terminators. It's not going to do anything to them, but they will definitely kill like non-tough things, like entire Marine squads, things like that. But anything with like a toughness 6, you know, 2-up save with more than 1 wound is probably not going to do great. But yeah, the Flash Gits I think are an awesome include here. They go from they have sustained hits already, I think, and they can get lethal hits once a game. But they can go up to sustained hits too, and they're just good in this detachment. They're not like an auto take for sure, like the Ludas and the tankbustas are, but these guys absolutely benefit. We then have the mechs, and it's mostly just the shock attack mech. The other mechs are good because you can give them like things like Morkanauts and Stompas +1 to hit, so maybe you take regular mechs. But the shock attack mech gives the unit reroll 1s to hit and also adds to their output, which in some units like tankbustas or Ludas becomes rather stupid. If Ludas shoot a Terminator unit and they have the targeting squig enhancement, this asshole himself is putting out an average of 7 hits at strength 9, at AP or invuln and D6 damage. They're 75 points, and they aren't like the easiest thing to destroy. You know, they have 5 wounds at toughness 5, only a 4-up save, but you know, like with some cover or something, they're slightly annoying to put down with like piddle-paddle fire. Like you actually need like 2 damage stuff and like a decent amount of it. And so the mechs with shock attack guns, they're just amazing in this detachment. They get sustained hits too, like just doubles their output. They count as hitting on 3s at that point, basically. And then giving other things, you know, rerolls, near stuff, having regular mechs to repair things. They're just great. I love them. Attaching mechs to units makes things evaporate. I love that too. And then your other mechs, you know, even though they have less output, like the one that lets you move through stuff, they're still really good. I mean, if you do take that guy, the assault ability, it makes his unit pretty quick. And they can also still shoot, and they can also still charge, like if they wanted to, which they probably don't. But anyway, we then have Wartsnaga. Goddamn, Zodgrod Wartsnaga. God, I cannot say this fucker's name. But this guy's just real good because his dudes now have sustained 2 with their blasters. They gain assault. Like, he joins 20 guys. Those 20 guys gain scout 9. They're -1 to be wounded. they're +1 to hit, they're +1 to wound, they gain assault in the Wog turn, like because of the detachment, and then they also gain +6 inches to their move on the Wog turn because of the dude attaching, this guy attaching to them. Like, what the fuck? They gain like every ability. So basically, he scouts up 9 inches, right? You then give him Get Stuck In, so now they move, that's the extra Wog, that makes you in Wog even if it's not the Wog turn. Now he moves 12 plus D6 inches, you clog up the entire table so that your opponent can't move anywhere. Oh, you also get to charge on turn 1 because you moved like 21 plus D6 inches. You shoot 20 Grot Blaster shots, that's like 20 hits, because, you know, hitting on 3s was sustained 2. They're +1 to wound, so it's most likely going to be 4s to wound. Take 10 armor saves on some random screen or something, and then I charge with 40 attacks on 4s, and probably 4s again, and then you got like the Runt Herder attacks, you got Zod himself, you fight back, and you're -1 to wound me. Your turn happens. You can't move out of your deployment zone. This unit's 160 points, so it's not bad for what you're getting here. And this guy honestly belongs in a lot of lists and a lot of detachments. But here, he is just so much dumber because you can just always make him in the Wog turn and make his unit fly like an eagle. And you can do it on turn 1 while hiding the rest of your stuff. And that's going to make a huge difference for what you do on your turn 2. It's going to give you a lot of padding, and it's going to add a wall that your opponent basically can't move through. We then get to the Stampa. Okay, so with a mech, dude, this thing gets 9 hits with its Def Cannon, 17-ish hits with the Super Gatla, and 3 hits with its Super Rocket. If you combine this with all the same stuff, you get 9 hits at Strength 14, AP 4, ignores cover with D6 damage, 17 hits at Strength 7, AP 2, ignores cover, 2 damage, and then 3 hits at Strength 12, AP 4, ignore cover, D6 plus 2 damage? Dude. With sustained hits too, it's like this thing hits on 3s, and with a mech for +1 to hit, it's now like better than 3s. And its guns are already very big and very shooty, and so that ballistic skill buff could be all you need. But yeah, it also has 4 big shooters on it, which I didn't mention, but it does have those too. It also transports stuff, a lot of stuff, but I'm not sure you're really going to take this in this detachment. I mean, like, if you do, this detachment will make this thing great, just like in Dread Mob. But I think most lists are going to forego an 800 point unit to take other things. We can get into some list ideas near the end though. But yeah, Stampa definitely can make some lists big sad because it's big and it makes things sad with its shooting, and then it's combat too, and maybe it dumps out Gaz from it, who knows. Speaking of Gaz and Mega Knobs are also dumb in this detachment. As soon as I saw Get Stuck In Lads, my first thought was just Mega Knobs. Mega Knobs infinitely having a 5-up Feel No Pain. Like, what the fuck? It's not as good anymore. Like, they are 210 for 6 or 175 for 5, which I do personally like more because when you attach a character to them, now it's a 6-man unit and you still don't have to worry about coherency. And then you also don't have a 4-up Feel No Pain like you used to. It's only a 5-up Feel No Pain. So it's not as crazy, but they do really like being in Wog as often as possible because they get extra attacks, they have a 5-up invuln, they get extra strength, and they can advance and charge. So that makes their kill solves strength 13, which is important because of toughness 12 targets. Or if you're using a power claw, it makes it strength 10, which is also a nice breakpoint, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody run them with power claws. Like I said way earlier, Orks is still Orks. Why not give them rerolls to wound? Now, it's actually feasible to give them a Power Claw and just like a single Kill Saw and a Shoota, because on average, they can do 3 to 4 dev wounds to some sort of infantry unit if you're taking like 5 of them, 5 Mega Knobs. That averages 3 to 4 dev wounds. And you could also use a grenade on these guys, so they could actually put out a decent amount of dev wounds, call it 6 to 7, then be charging in, because they do have the grenade keyword for some reason. But yeah, I mean, having rerolls to wound with 4 attacks from a Claw each, or like 3 attacks from a Saw each, is really fucking good, bro. It gives the unit twin linked, basically. And when it's not, because it does only work if the enemy is on an objective, otherwise you get reroll 1s to wound. So like in that case, when it's not working, quote unquote, if their strength is high enough, the reroll wounds of 1, that's pretty much fine. Like, that almost gives you reroll wounds a lot of the times. Especially if you have the kill saws, because you're wounding a lot of things on 2s, you're wounding vehicles on 3s, so just having rerolls of 1 there, it's kind of like having full rerolls against certain things. So yeah, it's too bad these guys can't take a rocket anymore. Just have sustained rockets. Oh well. But next we have Gaz, and he's going to be the last one that I mention here. So obviously, he benefits a lot from this detachment, just like the knobs that he's going to be attached to. He's a monster. Not literally. He's actually just an infantry boy, but not like he's a fucking monster. Like his range is still whatever, but now it's actually going to cause some wounds on some random tiddly bits. His melee though, pretty good. And he is always going to be in WOG if he's outside of a transport, if he's in line of sight of anything. So yeah, strength 15, AP 3, flat 4 damage, 7 attacks. No big deal, no big deal. Oh, right, he's also +1 to hit and wound. And did I mention that he gives out lethals on 5s to his unit? So, yeah, he does that. He gives out lethals to all orc units within 12 inches of Makari. So technically, Makari is the one giving it out during that WOG turn. So you get stuck in, now he's in the WOG turn. Cool, great. So basically what I'm saying here is that your entire army also has lethal hits in combat all game if you need it. And then his unit, because he's giving it to himself, they get criticals on 5-ups during the WOG. And they're also always +1 to hit and wound. So like with Orks is still Orks. Yeah, here's like 11 or 12 wounds at AP 2, flat 2 damage, or like 9 wounds at AP 3, flat 2 damage. Then Gaz swings, and you didn't actually need to swing with your Mega Knobs in the first place. So yeah, he is so good. He is just a big asshole. Your Mega Knob bodyguards, you know, they're a toughness 6 unit. They're gonna have a 5-up feel no pain. They're gonna have a 5-up invuln because it's gonna be one unit that goes into WOG. And as long as one of those guys gets to live, they all have the crits on 5s. He's just really good. He really likes being in WOG, and just he himself being in WOG can give everything within 12 inches, which is like 24 inches from him, both directions, 12 inches. So 24 total. Dude, your entire army basically has lethal hits at that point. So yeah. He's really good. He's only 235 points. How do you, like, how? Why? Why is he only 235 points? So those are all of the units that I think are going to benefit the most from this detachment. They're just all so good. They're all so good. What you're going to want to do here is pretty simple. You take Ludas, and you take tankbustas. You take mechs, and you put them with the said Ludas and tankbustas. And then you take trucks, and then you take Gaz with Mega Knobs. That's your list. So like 2 units of 5 Ludas, 100 points, right? 1 unit of 10 Ludas, you take a mech with a targeting squig, then you take like 3 units of tankbustas. You take another mech with the shiny shooter thing. Then you take like 4 trucks. You take like 2 or 3 knobs, and then you take Gazgul. Then you take 6 kilocans, because those things seem hilarious in this detachment. Take some grots, pop them on your home field, take some units of Storm Boys, and take like Zod Grog or whatever the fuck his name is, and then the 20 Gretchen with him. That's probably under 2,000 points. You could do something like 6 kilocans, 10 Ludas with the targeting mech, the 6 tankbustas with the shiny shooter thing, 10 flash gits. You'd have like 3 different units of just 10. Flash gits can't have a character, unfortunately. But like 3 trucks, a battle wagon, Gaz 3 knobs, grots on your home field, Zoggy Dude, his 20 grots, and then like 2 units of 5 Storm Boys. That's probably under 2,000 points. Or just say, fuck it, we do it live. Take Gaz, take those knobs, take a Stompa, take the mech just to give it +1 to hit, put some grots on your backfield, take a couple of units of Storm Boys, and then have like the 10-man Ludas with the targeting mech, the 6 tankbustas with the shiny shooter mech, and then like 2 trucks just to put them inside of those. You could also do builds that don't have Gaz, like if you take regular knobs or something else that likes combat, maybe more flash kits or something, but Gaz does give you that crazy, like, I just destroy you kind of combat, and he also offers a nice durable thing that's just kind of hard to get rid of, you know? And if you balance it right, I'm not sure which of the above lists, if any of them did, probably none of them did, but if you do balance things right, you can pretty easily get pretty good use from his lethal hits aura, while also benefiting your shooting stuff. Like, you can have a lot of good shooting stuff, and then also have like good combat units, things like flash kits or something that will benefit from having lethal hits in combat. So yeah, this detachment is crazy. It's crazy powerful. It's gonna get nerfed. It's gonna like only give you sustained hits 2 on your WOG turn, and then you're gonna have the ability to go back into WOG with the strat or something like that. Or it'll just be sustained hits 1 instead of sustained hits 2, which is still very powerful. It's going to change. It's absolutely going to change. I'm not sure the strats are going to change. I'm not sure those really need to change. I wanted to get this out as soon as I could because this is absolutely going to change. So, overall, my fellow theorists, this detachment is fucked. That's what I've discovered here today. And I'm pretty sure that I've missed combos and other things. I'm sure of it. But if I did, let me know down below. Power claw that like and subscribe button, hit Nurgle's bell, check out the other videos that we have on the channel. The video about the tankbustas is linked below. I think I've said it like 3 times during this video. And then check out the other channel, which is our gaming channel. That is also linked down below. So thanks for watching, boys. We got us a new WOG to join. I can't do the orc voice, dude. Theory hard, guys, and I will catch you in the next video.